All right, so are you ready to dive back in with us?
Always. What have we got today?
Well, today we're looking at something that's caused uh, probably thousands of arguments.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in classrooms and dorm rooms
Yeah.
and probably even a bar or two.
Hmm.
We're going to be talking about the first line of The Waste Land
Ah, Gilead.
by T.S. Eliot.
Okay.
Is it a great line or is it just another line?
Well, it's been analyzed and dissected for almost 100 years now.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason why it's so fascinating.
Yeah.
So, is it a great line? Does it live up to the hype?
I mean, how do we even quantify that, right?
Exactly.
It's so subjective.
Right.
But I think even more important than just, is it great or not?
Yeah.
Does it actually set the tone for the rest of the poem, or is it just a really cool hook?
Right.
It's kind of like the clickbait of poetry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just to get us all on the same page again. The line is, April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land, mixing memory and desire, stirring dull roots with spring rain.
Okay.
So what's your gut reaction when you hear that?
Oh, I mean, it's certainly not your average, April showers bring May flowers kind of a line.
Oh, not at all.
Which I think is why it is so interesting, right?
Yeah.
It is paradoxical.
Yeah.
April is associated with rebirth, with spring, with, joy and new life.
Right.
And here he's calling it the cruelest month.
The cruelest month.
Yeah, I mean, it's like saying fire is cold.
Right.
It's like, wait a minute, what?
It just gets you thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
You're like, hold on a second. What's going on here?
And I think that's a hallmark of great writing,
I think so, too.
is that it just gets you thinking. And like you were saying, it's paradoxical.
Yeah.
It's almost as if he's just like flipping the script on what we think we know about April.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that in the first line is really bold.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a statement.
It is a statement.
And do you think that that boldness kind of sets the tone for the rest of the poem?
I think it does. It's
Yeah.
disillusioned.
Yeah.
It's talking about the fragmented nature of modern life.
Right.
It came out right after World War I,
Yeah.
and the world was just in shambles.
Right.
And I think this line,
Mm-hmm.
with its this kind of unexpected imagery and contrast, really captures that feeling.
Yeah. And you're talking about the imagery. I
Yeah.
mean, when he says breeding lilacs out of the dead land,
Yet.
I mean, what's happening there?
Well, lilacs,
Yeah.
they're beautiful, they're fragrant,
Yeah.
and he's describing them as pushing their way out of the ground
Mm-hmm.
where everything is dead.
Dead. Yeah.
It's like this juxtaposition between life and death and hope and despair.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that really does speak to resilience, that life can find a way.
Yeah.
But it also reminds us, I think, that beauty can come from unexpected places, even the
Ouch.
wasteland.
Yeah. Now, what about that phrase, mixing memory and desire?
Right.
How does that tie into the whole idea of April being the cruelest month?
Well, I think it speaks to the past,
Mm.
April, a month of spring.
Yeah.
It brings new life, but it also brings these memories of what we've lost.
Right.
We long for things
Yeah.
that we can't have, and I think that makes the present moment seem more painful.
Yeah. It's like that feeling you get when you hear a song
Oh, yeah.
that you haven't heard in like 20 years.
Right.
And it just brings back all these memories.
Yeah. Bittersweet.
Yeah. Very bittersweet.
Yeah.
So we've got this incredible imagery, this paradox, these layers of meaning.
Right.
But Eliot also uses the sound of the words in such a cool way.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, he's a master of sound.
He is. I mean,
Listen to that hard C in Cruellest.
yeah.
It's almost like a sharp wind.
Yeah, it's biting.
And then he's got the softer or less in lilacs.
Right.
So you've got this juxtaposition between beauty and harshness.
Yeah.
And it's like reflected in the sounds themselves.
Absolutely.
It's like the line itself
Yeah.
is a metaphor for this jarring nature of the themes he's exploring.
Yeah.
He's not just telling us about the wasteland, he's making us feel it.
Right.
So do you think that just this one line
Yeah.
encapsulates the whole poem?
It's a good question. I think it sets the stage.
Yeah.
It introduces all those themes we were talking about.
Right.
The disillusionment.
The fragmentation?
Right. The struggle between life and death, the weight of the past.
Mm-hmm.
But The Wasteland is a long and complex poem.
Yeah, it is.
And I think this line is really just the beginning.
It's the beginning of a journey.
Exactly.
It's almost like a doorway
Yeah.
into this huge, really intricate landscape.
Mm.
So it's not the whole picture, but it's definitely a peek.
It is, yeah.
So I think for everyone listening out there,
Yeah.
the next time you read The Wasteland,
Uh-huh.
or if you've never read it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
maybe go check it out. But if you were reading it, really pay attention to that first line.
Yeah.
And think about how that colors your perception of the entire rest of the poem.
Yeah.
How does that change it?
And ask yourself, too, if it's great because it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Or because it sets the stage.
Or both.
Or both. I mean, that's the beauty of great literature.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no single answer.
Yes.
You get to decide for yourself.
Awesome. Well, this has been another great deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
See you next time.
See ya.